Our coverage from SEC Media Days, Day 2 continues. Brought to you by our friends at MyBookie, mybookie.ag, promo code next round. Boy, we used to spend every Monday morning with this guy. It was one of my favorite episodes.
I know it's our former coworker, and he just disappeared one day. We've never seen him again until now. What's up, Paul?
Yeah, where you been?
Well, Lance gave me a couple of betting tips, and I went broke, so I worked my way back.
It happens. That's why you can't even eat now, right?
No. I used to be what they call comfortable. Now I'm destitute.
I'll never forget, though, you and I had breakfast forever ago out at Shoal Creek, and you might not remember this, and we were just talking career stuff. And you told me one of the more amazing things that I still don't believe. You said you were fat one day.
Yes. At one point, you're probably right before you got to town, Jim. I weighed, I think, about 210.
Well, that's not fat, Paul. I'm 215.
Well, it is, though, when you go from 210 to like 125.
I love the way he looked at
me.
Were you
just a big eater?
No, I mean, I had, listen, let me break the code. I had a Jewish mother from Brooklyn who you're not going to leave that on your plate, are you? So I just ate, and I didn't know that dessert was bad for you. And I mean, I was just a normal kid that I kind of battled away. I mean, it was a serious deal. And finally one day I said, my dad died very young. I said, I got to do something. Yeah. So I know this is not the normal conversation we were planning on, but that's exactly what happened. And I went crazy. I started losing weight, and then I was not happy about it. In fact, a couple of weeks ago, I had a guy walk up to him and said, "Look like you're putting on weight." I'm like, going, "What?
I've never thought that about you.
You do go crazy when, and I'm not giving this is not Jenny Craig here, but I think weight is like any other issue that people have. It's every day. I like, should I eat that? It's got 47 calories.
Okay, more important question. Has Lane Kiffin matured?
I talked to him yesterday, and I think he I think he's up to from 17 to maybe 21.
He can drink now?
he's legal.
Yeah.
He's I don't know. I mean, we have a lot of fun. He got mad at me a couple weeks ago. I did an interview. It's like a throwaway line, just like I'll probably do something here. And I just said, I don't think he's that funny on Twitter. And he genuinely got ticked off.
Did he really?
You can say he's a terrible coach, you choked a game, but you can't say that he's not funny on Twitter because that's his calling card.
Yeah, I mean it is.
It really is. We've seen Nick Saban walk away after the time in coaching. Other people have walked away from coaching. How much fun are you still having? You've been doing this a long, long time. You still having fun doing this?
I really am enjoying it. I mean, maybe I got some serious issues if I am, but to me, once you kind of get to a point, you guys have been there where you have to make hard decisions. I followed your story pretty closely. You kind of feel liberated a little bit, and it was a tough decision to go to ESPN. I really did not want to move. I loved it at Alabama. I loved it where I was working. But once you get kind of through a few ordeals, you really do start to enjoy it.
I was surprised. Jim mentioned Nick Saban, and I'm not certain if you were on the set at the time. We were taping interviews, but how candid he was about his prediction for Alabama yesterday.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect in that realm out of him, and to hear him openly question Alabama's secondary, I mean, this early on, I was a little surprised by that.
Well, I tell you what is going to be interesting is when he starts getting the blowback to that. I think that's when the rubber's going to hit the road. I've watched him this week. There's an ESPN green room where we hang around, and first of all, he's always got like 3 people with him.
Yeah.
I don't know what these guys do because I've done all the things he's doing this week. It's not that hard. And he's just he's got one guy who's assigned him. We have him on today. I don't know when this is going to air. Are we live or tape?
No,
we're on tape.
It's on demand.
I have no idea.
On demand.
And his handler, who works for ESPN, came up to our producer and said, this is yesterday morning. What does Paul want to talk to him about? I go, we don't know. I mean, it's like 27 interviews from now, but that's how the Saban operation is operating right now.
Yeah, I know you got to roll here in a second, but Dave Upton, Craneworks, buddy of ours, tell us the true story because things get embellished. But about he loves to fly his helicopters and his planes and stuff. But you were with him, and was he showing off? And trying to get you sick one time?
Yeah, the story is, you guys will be shocked by this. Pat Dye was our Monday guest, and we got into it one day, and he said he's never doing the show again. I said, I really didn't care. But Upton did. So he said, let's fly down to see him. And we took his helicopter down to Auburn. And by the way, it ended up being one of the greatest afternoons. I blew the show off. I mean, that was really easy to do back then.
Yes.
Ryan Haney, go fill in for me.
Yeah.
Pat Smith.
Pat, take it, Pat.
Who cares what happens? And we sat there, and he had a couple of bourbons and just started telling stories. One about Bryant. He told me a story. He said when he worked for Bryant for 9 years, and one of them was that he came back from, I think it was Huntsville, and he said, Coach, it was a Monday before National Signing Day on Wednesday. He said, did you get that kid? He said, no, Coach. He said, why not? He said, get your ass up there and get him. So I said, so what happened, Coach? He said, I got him. I said, well, what'd you pay him? He said, I ain't talking about it. I mean, even this was 15 years ago, 40 years after Bryant, he would not talk about it. I mean, he might tell you what he paid for Eric Ramsey, but he wouldn't discuss. Wow. And that's the code of. So anyway, we're flying back. And we're coming over, is it Sports First, right off of 280? I don't know what it's called
I know
now.
what you're talking about.
Probably changed names 18 times.
It's actually the Shelby County license office now. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Oh, Blackwatch, right? Yeah.
And he saw his brother, David's brother, on the tennis court. So he goes, he I don't know what you do with that. And I turned white. And I mean, I was within one hiccup of just vomiting all over, and that's what he's referring to. But we've had a few trips together before, and I mean, I don't know how Crane Works has stayed in business because I don't think I've ever seen David work.
He's the one and only Paul Finebaum, ESPN, college football all year long. And we'll be watching you, Paul, as we always do every afternoon on the SEC Network. We appreciate you so much, man.
Thank you, guys.
Yep.
And I do miss you guys. I mean, we had a really cool group together at Jocks at one point. I don't know what they're doing now, but it was fun.
Will you move back to Birmingham one day?
Absolutely. Call my wife. I mean, she's probably right now on Zillow picking out a house.
We can make you a good deal.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, guys.